Okay, y'all. We got another one. Yet another high-ranking journalist within the mainstream media, uh, who, as it turns out, quote-unquote debunked Pizzagate. And this reminds me a lot of another case, which I'll get to in a second. But as far as other journalists or producers, we had the cases of two high-ranking staffers at CNN, one of whom worked with Chris Cuomo and was sort of apparently, good buds with Chris Cuomo. Turned out to be a child molester, somebody who, in a very sick scenario, had lured a woman and her daughter, maybe, I can't remember what age, like 10, 12, something like that, to join him in his mountain lodge, and that the idea would be that he would do ungodly things to the child, but he got caught. I can't remember his name right now, but there was somebody else as well. I'll look back and remember those names and link them below, because this is sort of a pattern here. And yeah, my phone, my laptop, yeah. But so now let's talk about this person, ABC News reporter who debunked quote unquote Pizzagate, pleads guilty to child rape. An ABC reporter who bragged about debunking evidence of an elite pedophile ring has pleaded guilty to a sickening array of child sex crimes, according to minors. That should be has, I think, pleaded guilty. James Gordon Meek, 53, who served as a national security journalist at ABC, is expected to appear in a federal court on Friday following his January 2023 indictment on child rape charges. He faces up to 20 years behind bars. This gets a little disturbing. Just a warning. I mean, this is all disturbing, but the details are quite disturbing. The disturbing crimes were exposed after the FBI conducted a raid on the journalist's Arlington home in April 2022. FBI officials were alerted by Dropbox in March 2021 of sickening child rape material of minors stored on Meek's account. And according to what was reported, an FBI agent claimed in an arrest affidavit that 3 phone calls were delivered in which the former ABC journalist was actively making plans to rape various young children. In a disturbing message Meek sent, he asked an unnamed user, this is, okay, brace yourself, have you ever raped a toddler girl? It's amazing. Yeah. Before his arrest, Meek regularly wrote hit pieces against Trump supporters, QAnon, and conspiracy theories such as Pizzagate. And there's more. Other disturbing accusations that they found on his devices: Meek sharing his fantasy of abducting, drugging, and raping a user as a 12-year-old girl. This person is not a minor character. He's somebody. If you type his name into a search engine, and when this story first broke, I did type his name into a search engine, and I was getting the latest news about his arrest, and his apparent pedo proclivities, but there were tons and tons of stories that involved him, writing for various news outlets. Again, we had the one that I profiled the other day or a week ago. So, I mean, they're coming out of the woodwork here. Let's see, I think there's more interesting stuff about Meek. Meek additionally served as a senior counterterrorism advisor to the House Committee on Homeland Security in 2011. So he didn't just, I mean, it sounds like he's part of the, part of the government journalist, mainstream media pipeline, or whatever. What would it be called, where you just go around from one to the other? It's like a turnstile. So yeah, he was not just a high profile journalist, but he was a counterterrorism advisor to the House Committee on Homeland Security. And, I guess props to the FBI for taking him out, for arresting him, building a case against him. I wonder if he became expendable in some way, and that was why they decided to do this, or if he became dangerous in some way, or if he wasn't. My impression is they get these kinds of people who have these kinds of proclivities to do these kinds of things, and they make a record of it, and then they can blackmail him, and they can get him to stay on the straight and narrow. So maybe this journalist pedophile, James Gordon Meek, maybe he was straying from the reservation, and they just decided to go nuclear on him, and this is the result. I get the feeling there's a lot more cases like this, in the amongst the political media establishment. The blackmail is currency when you get to these high echelon circles. All right, so this let me tell you what this reminds me of, and that is this person named Dr. Pizza. Now, I did some videos about Dr. Pizza, which is the name that he called himself, but that's all part of my channel that's been nuked, because this all happened 4 years ago, and that like I said, that all the videos that I recorded, including the videos that I recorded on this Dr. Pizza, was just nuked. But here, you go on YouTube and type in Dr. Pizza. This is the one video that comes up from OAN.
Well, shocking report out of the Southern District of New York, where a prominent journalist in the tech industry has been taken into federal custody for crimes against children. On America's Jack Posobiec breaks down the charges against Peter Bright.
Peter Bright was until recently a tech journalist who worked for Ars Technica in Condé Nast. Bright also had an extremely active presence on social media, especially Twitter, tweeting under the name Dr. Pizza. Dr. Pizza frequently tweeted anti-Christian, anti-Republican sentiment, including extreme left-wing hatred of President Trump and Trump supporters. He also participated in numerous left-wing hate mobs, targeting the families of conservatives such as Jack Posobiec. In May, Dr. Pizza was arrested by the FBI for federal child sex crimes. According to charges filed in the Southern District of New York, Dr. Pizza connected with an undercover FBI agent through a website called Kink D. The agent was posing as the mother of a 9-year-old boy and a 7-year-old girl. Dr. Pizza reached out to the post and started suggesting that he should meet the children for sexual acts. The text messages Dr. Pizza sent are highly disturbing, and in them, he also claimed he was currently engaged in a sexual relationship with an 11-year-old girl. Dr. Pizza described his child molestation acting in extreme detail. He was arrested after attempting to meet the undercover agent. However, due to his public posts, many are asking how much he did to hide his child sex crimes. On his Twitter page, he described himself as pervy. In tweets, Dr. Pizza wrote, "I think that age-based rape laws are stupid." He has a long history of public tweets that disturbingly show support for other forms of child abuse. In response to all of this, Twitter has not taken down Dr. Pizza's account, but it has removed his verification check. Perhaps even more disturbingly, One American News obtained archives of an internal message board from his company, Ars Technica. There, journalist Dr. Pizza advocated for the legalization of child pornography and the decriminalization of those who view child porn.
Does that not sound similar to the the journalist, the movie reviewer, and columnist, the one who was attacking the movie Sound of Freedom last week, and you you examine his profile, and you see that you find that he actually represented a pro child molestation, pro predator group. He supported the so-called MAP group, and look, the MAP isn't going to quit trying to make MAP happen. MAP isn't going to happen. We're not going to start calling them MAPs. It's just not going to go down like that. Very similar here, except in this case, they actually caught him in the act, and found out that he had a history of doing stuff to kids. And in the other case with the other guy, it's just him advocating for it, which is, I would say pretty sus as far as what we should think of him. Anyhow, so again, you've got the two high-ranking journalists at CNN. You've got Dr. Pizza. You got the who that last story was about. That went down like 4 years ago. You got here. You got this guy Noah Berlatsky, who, as I said, writes posts for Bloomberg and Washington Post and The Guardian and The Independent. He writes movie reviews, and he attacked Sound of Freedom, and of course he's the one who, you look a little more closely at him and you find out that he has been a spokesman for a pro quote-unquote MAP group. So there's a pattern here. There seem to be a lot of reporters and journalists, and these aren't just like small-time people. These are high-ranking. This guy, what was it, served on the Senate Intelligence Committee, and don't forget, he also wrote hit pieces against conspiracy theories such as Pizzagate, as did Dr. Pizza. I mean, his very nickname, his real name was Peter Bright, but Dr. Pizza was his handle. I mean, attacking Pizzagate, but calling yourself Dr. Pizza, saying Pizzagate is a, like Stephen Colbert says, a right-wing fever dream, or an alt-right fever dream. So what I'm saying with all of this is that number one, these are not just cub reporters. These aren't just insignificant people. He served as a counterterrorism advisor to the House Committee on Homeland Security in 2011. And I just think I'm thinking that it's probable that people like this, I don't think that they were I would imagine that this is an open secret that amongst the mainstream media in the mainstream media culture, this seems to be, if not endemic, it seems to be something that at least seems to be asserting itself a lot. That there's a lot of reporters and journalists who mock quote unquote conspiracy theorists who talk about Pizzagate and other or QAnon or other similar things, and then they turn out to be just the kind of people that the Pizzagate people warn you about. They turn out to be into pizza, and like I said the other day with Noah Berlatsky, like I said with him, physiognomy. I hate to say, just the way you look is determines who you are, or tells us definitely who you are. But in some cases, look at this person. Look at that face. Holy, looks like he's absolutely up to no good whatsoever. And now in this case, look at that face. Is this a guy you would trust? I mean, I don't think he's quite as gross looking as Berlatsky. But there's something there that doesn't quite look right. I don't know. Maybe that's just a ex post facto, judgment. Maybe that's after the fact, after knowing the kind of things that he's into. I don't know. But we got another one, and I think it's yet another case of this pattern of behavior that we see amongst these mainstream media journalists and reporters. So, leave your comments below. Thank you for watching. Talk to y'all soon.